Hey, good morning, everybody. Steve here with Cowboys 365. Hopefully you're having a great morning so far, and thanks for tuning in. I do want to mention one thing. You know, when I got started doing these TikToks and stuff like that and thinking about a podcast, one of the things I knew we'd address is the NIL, you know, name, image, likeness, and also the transfer portal. The two things, in my opinion, that have totally changed college athletics. And I'm not saying I disagree with either. So whatever I say today, I don't want you to think that Steve totally disagrees with the NIL. He totally disagrees with the transfer portal. It's not what I'm saying at all. I don't totally disagree with that. I believe both of them could have been structured in a better way. I will tell you that. And what's really bringing this to light now is Nick Saban. He came out last week, and he said there was two things that did play into his retirement. Not 100%. There was a lot of variables that went into this, but one of the things was the way his players reacted after they lost to Michigan in the playoffs, throwing their helmets down and angry, doing some vulgar stuff. That's just not appropriate. And he said that all the things he's tried to instill in his players as people, not just how to run and catch the football, how to block a blocker, as humans, as how to develop them into being better men. I call it the cowboy culture, just like we have at Oklahoma State. It's the cowboy culture. It really has very little to do with football. It has to do with the development of these young athletes, men and women, into better people. So he said that really played a factor because he was just disappointed. He realized all the things he's been really trying to teach these kids was going away. Then he also started talking about the NIL, and I'm just going to quote him real quick. He says, I thought we could have had a hell of a team next year, and then maybe 70 or 80% of the players you talk to, all they want to know is two things. What assurances do I have that I'm going to play because they're thinking about transferring? And how much are you going to pay me? He goes on to say, as our program here is always built on how much value we can create for your future and your personal development, academic success, and graduating and developing an NFL career on the field. So, to me, that says a lot. And I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I actually thought we'd see more this year. From the old, I phrased this right, because they're all younger than me. all the older coaches, the established coaches, the Nick Sabans, even the Mike Gundys, people who have been around for years and years and years and know what college football was and college athletics was before the NIL. Now, there's our coaches that have been coaching for maybe 10 years, okay? That's not the coaches I'm talking about. I'm talking about the coaches who've been coaching for 20, 25, 30 years. Because coaching is totally different now. You have to address things like that. It's not a matter of running in the right place, and talent. It's a matter of how much you can afford to pay your players. So I see what Nick Saban's done, and I could see how what he loved so much, what Mike Gundy loved so much, is developing these players. That cowboy culture is kind of being pushed aside, and now it's about money. We used to say college athletics and just going to college in general was an opportunity to get a good education, an opportunity to learn what it's like to hold that person next to you accountable because they're holding you accountable. That's one of the things that, in my opinion, team sports really teaches our kids is accountability, not just to yourself, but to the person next to you. So, but now it's more of an individual sport. And you do see things that not everybody's like that. Don't get me wrong. Not everybody's like that. Ollie Gordon could have gone anywhere and played, but he's an Oklahoma State Cowboy. Now I'm sure he's being compensated well, but he stayed there. He stayed at OSU. I appreciate his loyalty. But now coaching is gone on to just a different element into how you coach. So I respect Nick Saban for coming out and saying that. How the things that we used to try to teach our kids are not getting through. because now college athletics is not an opportunity as much as it is a job. So, and I'll be honest with you, I thought Mike Gundy would go the same route. After we went 2-2 the first 4 games of last season, oh my gosh, the ridicule and the bashing that he got on social media, and I know he doesn't do social media, which is credit to him, but this happens all the time. When we have a team, I shouldn't say weak, because I think every team is like this. They can go have a great game, and they are coached by the best people in the world. Casey Dunn calls the best plays. He's a magician. But in the following week, if they lose, well, everybody's job is on the line. Heads are going to roll. And usually heads are going to roll by people who are never at a practice. They never know any of the players. They never know what's going on. Like me, I will never call for a coach's job. Okay, I'll question their play calling, but I'm not on the field. I don't go to those practices. What makes me think that I know better than those coaches? What makes me think that I can call a play better than Casey Dunn? What makes me think I can coach the linebackers better than our coaches? What makes me think that I could decide which quarterback is the best? And I've gone on record saying I thought Gunnar Gundy was not the best quarterback, but I believe Gunnar Gundy led the team better than anybody last year. I believe the team responded to Gunnar Gundy better than Bowman last year. Bowman got the job, and he developed it to be a fine quarterback, and I'm excited for next year. But the heat that Mike Gundy was taking last year, man, he's a strong man. He's a strong man because he can tolerate it. So I think we'll see a lot of changes in coaching the next several years because the game has changed that much. Now it's you not only do you have to be a coach, you have to be a manager, and you have to be a business person to a certain degree because there's finances involved. You're not dealing with amateur athletes anymore. You're dealing with professional athletes. So anyway, to make a long story short, if it's actually possible at this time, I credit Nick Saban for coming out and saying what so many other people are thinking. I credit Mike Gundy for still being our coach. Thank you for your strength, because I can tell you, I can't say that I would have done it. But anyway, I think the NIL has changed the game. I think the transfer portal has changed the game, and that's the way I see it. Of course, it's just my opinion. And I'll be glad to get into how I think the NIL could have been handled differently, and the transfer portal could be handled differently. I think they both have good variables in them. I definitely think the players have to be compensated. But hey, we're going on 8.5 minutes here, so I'm not going to waste your time by going into all that. If you want me to explain it, just put a comment below, and I'll be glad to maybe make another TikTok and definitely lay out how I felt the NIL should have been handled and how I felt the transfer portal should be handled. I think it all could be handled better. And this would be coming from an entrepreneur, somebody who is in business every day, 7 days a week. I'm making business decisions. But again, I'm not saying I'm a better business person than anybody. So, yeah, feel free to comment. I'll be glad to make another TikTok about and lay out my plans, how I think it should have been done, if you'd like to hear it, if you're interested. Anyway, you guys have a fantastic day. No matter what, the NIL, the transfer portal, whatever, it's still a damn good day to be a Cowboy. And geez, that's what Loyal and True is all about, okay? You guys have a great day. Go Pokes.